Okay, in this module, we're going to be using Photoshop filters and effects. You can see here I have a picture. It's not a very exciting picture, but it is a picture. And I have a couple stuff on there. Get rid of that. So I have a picture, and straight away I'm going to duplicate that picture and then hide the bottom one so that I always have a clean copy. I could just make it a smart image, but then some effects don't work on a smart image. So we're going to keep it like this, just a plain old stupid raster JPEG. Most effects, in order for them to work, we talked about this before, in mode must be RGB and 8-bit channel. Anything above that or CYMK or something and they don't work. All right, so let's dig in. First, let's look at the ones that are out here. 3D, I'm going to totally not even get close to it because um, it's a whole lesson on itself. Like there's a whole 3D tab now. So we're going to skip that, but I'll go into blur, and blur has all these different kinds of blur, and you can look into what they are. But you can hit blur, and you can see it blurs it a little bit. And I can hit blur, it hid the thing. So um, here I can tone down the blur, or let's see, zoom out. I don't know why this won't let me zoom in. All right. Um, and if that's not enough, you can repeat it and go blur, blur more. And it blurs the screen a little bit more. Or you can just do portions. I'll try a different kind of blur this time. Blur, Garrison blur. And if you can see, you can blur the whole picture or just little bits of it. Why didn't it just do that? That's so strange. It should have just done this little bit. Instead, it did the whole thing. Oh, it's because I already had them on there. So if I take them off one at a time, you can see that's a blur. All right, delete. Spend my entire time talking to you on blur. All right, I'm going to duplicate this layer, hide the bottom one again, and then I'm just going to kind of go through these. There's distort. These are all um, kind of pinch or wave. These are all like using the warp tool, but these are pre-made warps. So there you can see you have some control over it. I can warp it a lot, and you got control over various things. I can scale it up or down. And there's warp. So all the rest do a similar, all the distorts do a similar sort of thing. Um, pinch is one I use a lot. You can see here's a pinch screen. It obviously does very funny things. It's really, that is a very common response to Photoshop filters. Like they do very funny things. All right, so those are the distorts. Then there's noise, and this is like if you want it to be kind of like old time TV. See, like the more I crank it up, the more the noise happens. This is really nice to do if you're trying to get that kind of silk screen 1920s fruit box silk screen look. All right. Pixelate, this Pixelate is sort of more like a smart filter from the filter gallery, where it'll does all these different kind of um, pixelations on the thing. So let's try Mosaic, and you can increase the. Look, it's Minecraft, or try a different one. Crystallize, and you can kind of see it does the same thing, but sort of in triangles instead of squares. All right, and then render. Render has different things like lens effects and fibers and lighting effects. So the it takes a while. See, like it's almost like you put a light on the picture and you can adjust it. Bring up the ambient and the color, and I can change that spotlight to red, but then still bring up the ambient, and it'll look still like he has like a red light shining on the back of him. Um, you can colorize the whole thing, all sorts of stuff. I can change the light from the spotlight to something else. It used to be you could grab the light and move it around. And you get 3 different kinds of lights. And then there's clouds and lens flare. Lens flare is like, what does he have on his phone that's so shiny? Clouds. Oh, I didn't even know what clouds did. It's very useless. It takes the entire picture and puts clouds on it. That's, yeah, never mind. I won't show clouds next time, that's for sure. All right, sharpen. So if you have a blurry picture and you want to sharpen it, then these kind of do an okay job of trying to make that happen, but not great. Stylize. This is good for things like this, where I can hit oil paint, and you can see it kind of takes a normal, and I just use the default, but it takes the normal picture and kind of turns it into like an artistic sort of thing. I don't mind that at all, actually. Um, and here's emboss, in case you wanted to make like a nickel or a penny or something. And you can adjust what the embossment amount is, or whether it goes up or down, or where the light's coming from. What else is stylized? Solarize. Tiles. They ask you a question, what kind of tiles? You're like, okay, like a puzzle. Yeah. Some of these things. Don't know how they came about or why they're included. All right. Wind. Lots of wind. Look how fast that horse is moving, standing still. Okay. And video, we won't do video because we're not doing any video. And then other, I don't use many of these. Not even sure what they do. Let's hit one. So you can adjust partial bits of it based on the picture. Crazy. All right. Or you could blend them together. So those are most of the um, effects. So let's look at the filters. Um, here's the filter gallery. Now, oosh, too big. So the filter gallery has these little windows, And if you close this up, they have artistic and brush strokes and distort and stretch and stylize and texture. And each one of these little things has a little window, and you can just, they all have modifiers. So like you can adjust size or grout width or whatever, mosaic tiles, texture. You can do how much texture, patchwork quilts, stained glass windows. Um, and all these have different things. That's colored pencil. That's cutout. Cutout is the one I use the most because you can get kind of a cartoony, an illustrated cartoony look pretty easily. Or like a drawn thing. Dry brush, film grain, so it looks like a movie. Fresco, neon. I'll just kind of this. I really like you guys to do this, where you just snip the kind of come in here and cruise through them. And then we have brushes. Paint daubs is one I use quite a bit. Where's paint daubs? There. When you want to take a photograph and make it look like an illustration, that's a good one. Here's distort. And these are all just algorithms that are being run on the image itself. Whereas before they were images or stuff being put on top of the image. Close these up so you can see some more. Have a sketch or stylize. I don't know why there's only one in there. And then texture we already looked at. So this is the filter gallery, and you can get there by going here to the filter gallery. There's a few more in here, liquify and stuff. This is more. This is a warp tool, right? So all that stuff we did here in the edit, transform, warp, and then we had all these different things here that we could change. That's more of that. And what else? There one other thing that I want to show you, and it doesn't work on the whole image very well, but it will work on parts of the image. So say, for instance, we were to select the subject. Let's see if it'll grab it for him. Great. Kind of did an okay job. And then I went in here and hit Control X. How about, oh, sorry. Select inverse. No, I was right first time. Select inverse and edit. Copy. No, edit cut. Am I not working with a raster image? Raster layer. There we go. Control X, Control V. Oops. Shift Control V to paste in place. And now I can use the so with blending options, you just right click here and you can open up blending options, and then you can do stuff like drop shadow, and you can increase the distance. And these also allow you to do stuff like outer glow. Get rid of drop shadow, outer glow. So if you wanted to make him glowing, but again, it only does this. It won't like do this on the actual character. You need to have the character separated out like I do here. Inner shadow. Gradient overlay. Cool. All right, so those are quite a few of the effects. The only ones I didn't show you were, of course, the 3D stuff, and that's it's its own deal. Next time, maybe.